Hi, I'm Kelly King from CRK Training, and in today's video we're going to go over riding a half halt. So let me just start by talking a little bit about what a half halt actually is. A lot of people know the term, but they don't really understand what it actually means. So to me, a half halt is just used to rebalance or slightly slow down the horse. So this means that if you're riding along and say the horse starts to trot a little bit too fast and he's kind of strung out, which means just, his feet feel like they're just kind of going everywhere. A half halt is basically where you're going to stretch up and you're going to start to tell the horse to stop. So you're going to kind of get that little bit deeper seat where you're kind of resisting the horse's movement, stretching up. And just as the horse starts to say, okay, we're stopping, then you say, nope, never mind, you can just keep going. So if you kind of think about how that worked, you're thinking stop, the horse starts to think stop, that makes him slow down and start to get on his hind end a little bit because he's preparing to get himself stopped. And then when you just say, never mind, you can keep going, you should be able to go forward with a better, more balanced trot. So I'm going to be using Mikey to demonstrate in this video, and the reason I chose him is actually because he's still pretty green. So for one, he tends to get pretty unbalanced a lot, and also I have to exaggerate the half halts a little bit more because he's green and he doesn't totally get them, at least he doesn't respond to them subtly quite yet. So the half halt can be as big as really sitting deep and taking a feel of the reins to make the horse slow down sometimes, or it can be as subtle as just even like tightening your stomach muscles. And some of my more sensitive and more trained horses, all it takes is that and they just come right back up underneath me. So I'm gonna just take Mikey out here, ride a little circle, and we'll see if we can show you some half halts. Okay, so if you've never ridden a half halt before, the best place to start practicing is actually at the walk. So try getting just a nice forward walk, and then all I want you to do is half halt, watch here, see how he slows down, and then I let him walk forward again. So you can just kind of think of it as slow down, almost stop, nope, walk forward. So I'm going to do here, half halt, and walk forward. So notice how I'm tightening a little bit through my abs, kind of stopping the movement in my hips, using a little bit of rein. And then I relax again and I start to move in the saddle to have him walk forward. Now let's take this up to a trot. We're gonna do a posting trot. Now we're going to do the same thing. So right here, I'm going to get him going forward a little bit more. Now I'm going to half halt to see if I just can't get him a little bit more balanced. So I'm going to post a little slower, stiffen up, see how he's slowing down. Now right when I feel he kind of really came underneath me there, I relaxed and I let him go forward again. Going to do it once more here in the turn, stiffen up, half halt, and go forward. These half halts definitely aren't yet. He's got a lot to go on them, but that's part of the reason I wanted to use him, because this is where you need to start to learn these, and then you just gradually make them better and more subtle. Okay, so right here again, I'm gonna half halt. Notice how he's slowing. Now see how that one was exaggerated. I actually kind of went to a sitting trot for a few steps there. And one more time as I come by you here. Half halt. And again there, I kind of sat an extra beat to get him to slow down. And as you're practicing, that is absolutely fine. Obviously, when you're doing this a little bit more, like if you're doing this in your hunter class or something, you're not going to want to be sitting to half halt. But as you're practicing and as you're getting your horse to these, over exaggerate it to teach yourself and to teach the horse. And really, you use the half halts a ton. Once you kind of learn and you really get the idea of these, you're going to use your half halts in your turns rebalance a little bit before a turn. You're going to use your half halts if you're coming up to a jump to get the horse a little bit more on his hind end before the jump. You're going to use them before you start a lateral movement. You're even going to use them kind of before and after transitions. Like if you go into a canter, you're going to kind of get the horse ready, set him up, canter, and then you're going to half halt again to kind of get him balanced at the canter. So once you start practicing these, they're really going to become second nature, that you're going to be doing it all the time without hardly thinking of it. But remember, as you're starting out, don't be afraid to over-exaggerate, to get the feeling of that horse really coming back and going forward again, and that's how you're going to learn and get good at these half halts. So we will see you back on next week's video.